Kingpin Music.
Hello, everyone. This is the Let's Talk Under the Tree podcast. We have Mr. Richard Lawson, along with Mr. Jay walking from the Bottom of the Bottle podcast. We're going to have a good time with this legend, and we're going to give him his flowers because I got a lot to say. I'm going to do it a little different this time as far as everybody kind of knows what your bio is. I'm going to do it a little different, slightly, because you have to get your flowers. And I'm going to tell you, from my views, what I see. And I'm sure Jay Walken is going to chime in. What about that? All right. I'm going to get straight into this thing with this. We went to Cannes. Some people call it Cannes Film Festival.
Well, the proper pronunciation is Cannes.
Okay, Cannes. Okay.
Yeah.
And when you was on Instagram Live a couple of days ago, you getting ready to have a party over there or a celebration. And what were you doing over there? That was a big festival that you attended.
Well, Cannes is the sort of cathedral of filmmaking. You know, I mean, it sits right at the top of the filmmaking, film festival places. And when you go there, you know, people, all the big films have been previewed and premiered there over the years. And this is my third time going. And it was like really one of the most successful trips because so many good things happened. You mentioned the party. So I'm the face of a tequila brand called Cava Don Anastasio. And so I threw a launch party there, and we had about 200 people. And it was highly successful because the brand is compares to 1942 in Casa Azul. So anybody who has a palate for tequila will understand what I'm talking about. It's like top of the line. And we had a fabulous party, which will now become an annual party. Right. Every year we're going to throw the black event at Cannes. So it'll be a destination party. But yeah.
I'll be there.
Yeah, you won't want to miss this. This is it's amazing. But that was just one of the things that happened there. You know, I pitched a movie that I wrote with my team. It was very successful. We're going to get that done. I did a master class on vertical filmmaking. My company, my co-partnership with Danae Busby. We have a company called Hyperlens, and which was one of the producers of the master class in vertical filmmaking, and so many things have exploded from that. We're going to be doing it in Africa and South Africa and in Ghana and Nigeria and Jamaica, as well as many venues around the United States. And it's like the next level in terms of helping people become masters at vertical filmmaking, which is the new craze right now. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but
oh yeah,
absolutely.
Absolutely. Everybody's swiping, man. The phone is the deal. You know what I mean?
This, I guess that's where I kind of want to jump in. I thank you for sharing your time with us, man. As a almost 50-year-old black man, I have seen your face for my entire life. So I guess that just kind of goes into the question of what's the biggest thing that you have noticed in the way film and technology? Has it made it easier? Is it more convoluted? What's the biggest change in filmmaking from analog to digital that you see from your perspective?
Well, it's like any other change, like I've been on this planet a long time. I've seen a lot of changes. I tell people that, I went to, as a little boy, I went to church in the back of a horse and buggy with my grandparents. And, and
Wow.
so I go all the way back to that, right? So if you look at how time has moved on, they're bullet trains that's traveling 300 miles an hour. You know,
Right.
my grandfather, he plowed the field with two mules, and I would be behind those mules, G and hawing to get those mules to stay straight, and I would just mess up the rows of cotton that my grandfather was plowing. But going from that to this, what I can tell you is that you can imagine, every 10 years or so there's going to be a change, but technology changes, man, within weeks, and
Yeah.
people resist technology. So if you resist it, you're behind it. If you get in front of it, you understand, then you can deal with the advances as it moves forward. Because once the toothpaste is out the tube, it ain't going back in. So you better be in front of it. It's like y'all running your studio. You better be in front of technology so that you can make transitions easier, so that you can communicate more trustworthy, that your stuff is not going to go down, that you operating with the best mics and so on and so forth. You got to transition with the time. And I've always been one that wanted to stay in front of the time, not behind it, so that I can have control of my destiny. So that's why vertical filmmaking is not, it's the new language. And
Right.
and people better jump on board, because there are more people watching their phones that's going to the movies now. Ain't that many people going to the movies like they used to. You know what I mean? And filmmaking is not the same as it used to. There's Netflix, there's Amazon, there's all that stuff. You do a movie, it's in the theater for a couple weeks, then it goes on Netflix. Ain't as much money in that pool as it used to be. It's not that many people that are starring in films like it used to be. So vertical filmmaking is the new frontier.
Absolutely.
One thing I'm going to add on, I'm going to give you your flowers. I've noticed that the older actors from your generation, y'all are just different. I don't know what it is. You have a different vibe with your scripts. You can feel the energy like it's real. Bernadette Stannis is like that also, you and her.
Yeah.
So John Amos was like that. When we watch you guys do your character, I don't know what it is. You guys have a different aura. What would you say about that?
Well, so Sir Anthony Hopkins was a guest in my class one time, and
Well,
somebody
that's a
said,
flex.
"Yeah," and he was a guest, and somebody said, "Well, Mr. Hopkins, how do you prepare for a part?" And he said, "I read the script." "Oh, okay, okay. So after you read the script, what do you do?" He said, "I read it again." Uh, okay. So you read the script twice, then what do you do? He said, "I read it again." He said, "I read the script 250 times before I get on my feet. By the time I get on my feet, I know every detail about this character that I could imagine, because I've asked all the questions. So therefore, I am now organic, and that character is living inside of me. The difference, and so me and Denzel and Sam Jackson, all of us have worked together. We all did plays together. Glenn Turman, Lawrence Hilton Jacobs, people from, we're all friends, but we all have the same work ethic. You know what I mean? We go and we dig, we dig, we dig, we dig, we turn over the next rock. We turn all the entire, 50,000 piece puzzle. We turn all the faces up before we try to put the puzzle together. The young people today want quick fixes. They want it quick. They ask the first question and then they want it ready to play it. Well, the difference is you playing yourself. You're not playing the character. You just giving us persona, and not, real character depth and working where you really understand it from the marrow of the bones. And that's the difference between not all young people. Yeah, a lot of young people are still getting trained at Juilliard and NYU, and they go to AFI and they get the training. There's other people that, that they get hot doing what they do, playing baseball, football, rap, whatever. Then they come into the business, and then because they got a personality, they're acting personality. They're not acting necessarily the character that's on the page.
That's deep right there, jaywalking.
No, I mean, I feel like the access, everybody has a camera. If you have a $600 phone right now, you can shoot something. And I think it's made it a lot easier as far as access, as far as producing content. But when you have that access, you don't necessarily sit with the craft, like he's
No,
saying. Um, we go back and forth. There's an argument on social media now. Who's the better actor? I think between like Will Smith and Denzel. They say, well, Denzel is always Denzel. I, I've never subscribed to that. I feel like gentlemen like yourself, you just named a bunch of heavy hitters. I appreciate that you have been working at this for 50 plus years, and you
60.
probably know the 60 at this point.
Wow.
So, and again, from appearances on the Cosby Show to Beauty in Black that's going crazy right now, you have
Crazy,
always
crazy.
Yes.
absolutely crazy, man.
Yes.
And I appreciate your character because
Yes.
we didn't get to see you in that temperament throughout your career. So it opened my eyes to a level of your acting that I can only appreciate and give you gratitude for.
Well,
Yes.
see, if you'd have seen my work on stage, you'd have seen a lot of that, you know. But but and that's the beauty of stage is because it's that intimate and that close. And film is a whole nother world. But look, anybody who said Denzel just acts Denzel is out of their minds. They're out of their
Right,
minds
right.
in terms of the characters that he plays. Will Smith and Denzel do completely different things. They're completely different personas. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
so it's hard to just say who is the best actor. Well, look, if John Wayne, if you put John Wayne on a stage and try to get John Wayne to act Shakespeare, he would look like an idiot. But if you got Laurence Olivier and told him to play High Noon, he also would look like an idiot because it's like that ain't his
Right.
world. And
Right.
so you gotta put people where they are. A lion is a lion on land, and a shark is the lion of the sea. You can't put the shark on land and then compare the two. It's two different worlds. You got to understand the genre of where they live. You know what I mean? Sam Jackson's got to be considered with all the variety of
Oh my
characters.
goodness.
Oh, yes.
He didn't play so many characters. I tell you this, look, as long as I've been in the business, as much as I know about the world of acting and filmmaking and all of that, when I get on a plane, you know who I'm looking for? Denzel movies.
Right, right, right.
I'm looking for Denzel movies because I know that I'm gonna be caught up from beginning to end. I always look for Denzel movies, and I'm not saying that because he's a friend. I'm saying that because he's one of my favorite actors.
Good.
Let me ask you just kind of off top, and I'll let you get back in with it, man. I'm sorry, but this is a once in a lifetime opportunity for me. One of my favorite movies of all time was A Soldier Story. Where were you in that? Because uh, I know most of black Hollywood or aspiring black Hollywood at that time. Robert Townsend. Just where were you at that time, and did you go out for that role?
I did not go out for the role or for any
Okay.
other roles in it. Hollywood is an interesting thing. you know, it's a lot of dynamics in terms of like casting directors, you know, they have their choice. The Soldier Story actually came from NEC, Negro Ensemble Company. And so therefore, with that came a lot of the people who actually started with that off-Broadway play. And then as it progressed, there was already, you know, kind of like um, a repertory of actors who they love to work with. And I wasn't in that group, and I'm okay with that. You know, what's meant for you is meant for you. You know, and sometimes things
Right.
like I was never invited to audition for anything from Roots, and
Okay.
Man.
maybe I didn't look African enough. Maybe I look like a new nigga. You know what I mean? I didn't.
You had good hair.
I look like a new nigga, not an African person, and I'm okay with that because
Yeah.
my friends work. You know, let me say this about Soldier Story. Soldier Story has the best drunk scene in the history of cinema. My man walking home inebriated.
Yes.
That
Adolf. Yeah.
That was,
Adolf Caesar was brilliant. He
yes.
was
Absolutely.
brilliant. If you want to know how to play a drunk, look at that. You know,
I
along with
just
other performances, which were great too. But you know, it was like,
I just asked that because you hear stories of Black Hollywood being we all met each other before you guys were number one on the call sheet, when you guys were trying to attain a level that they would call out the same people for one role. So that's
hmm
why I asked the question.
yeah. Hey, listen, it's all good. You know, looking when I look, I ain't mad at nobody. When I look at my resume and I look at all the things that I've done, and I look at the fact that I'm still relevant today, and you know,
Absolutely.
Yes.
and relevancy in my case has nothing to do with with who's controlling the decisions, because I'm putting myself in the position and have always put myself in a position where I can control my own destiny. That's why I have my own company. That's why, we're doing master classes. That's why, the deals that I'm fermenting are all based upon relationships that I've developed and also products that I've developed and invented. And so, I'm good. The things that I don't get wasn't meant for me. I'm good with that. I'm happy for my friends who got them.
Your credits are a mile long, that's for certain.
Let me ask you
Thank you,
this.
sir.
Because you're an older actor, are you more sought after now more than when you were younger?
I don't see myself as an older actor.
Okay.
I see myself as a seasoned actor,
Okay.
but age ain't got shit to do with it. You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
Look, look at Marla Gibbs still working today, and she's in her 90s. You know what I mean? And
Unbelievable.
it's all has to do with your spirit and your energy and your vibe. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I ain't gonna say that. I was
Uh,
gonna say,
you can
I was
say
gonna,
what you want.
if you want some validation on my youth, I can give you some numbers to call, but I ain't gonna
Ah!
say that.
You have nothing to prove, sir.
You have
You know
nothing.
what I'm saying? If it's about virility, you may want to call these numbers, but no, we ain't gonna
Okay, I got you.
go. Yeah, but what was your question?
You already answered it basically. What I want to say, I want to give you some credit. You survived Vietnam, and I read in your bio you were wounded, right?
I wasn't wounded like with a bullet, but I left there with a condition that I developed while I was there, in
Okay.
terms of my eyes.
Okay.
And I got infections in my eyes that I got medevaced out of
Okay.
there. But I was there for 11 months and 2 weeks before I left Vietnam. Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. You survived
We're
an air.
both veterans as well.
Yes. Hmm.
Oh, God bless you, man. God bless you. Yeah.
You survived an air. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, sir.
No, go ahead.
You survived an airplane crash, and
Yeah.
that's amazing to survive that. And
Yeah, thank God for that.
yes,
I
yes.
listen, I got shit to do. You know, he wasn't ready for me. He said, boy, you on assignment. I ain't done with you yet. You know what I mean? So I was very grateful. You know, actually, I was on my way to Cleveland because I ran the drug program for the NBA at the time. I
Oh
I
wow.
Okay.
started that program with a group of people called Adult Substance Abuse Program, ASAP. And we originated the drug program for the NBA. So the program that they have today is sitting on the shoulders of and the foundation of what we created. So I was on my way to Cleveland, of all places, to do a training with them, and the plane crashed on takeoff.
Oh man. So
Yeah.
that's yeah.
Your story, I mean, just the things that you've accomplished, the things that you've had to endure. At what point do you at what point in your life did you acknowledge the divinity of the things going on around you?
You know what? It's so interesting because when I was 6 years old, I was sitting on the sidewalk in the projects, Cornice's Village, and I sat there, and it was the strangest thing. I was just looking at this ant crawl down the crack, and all of a sudden, I had a revelation at 6 that the Lord spoke to me and said, "You're here for a reason, and you're special." And I had that feeling so powerful when I sat there at 6 years old that I knew that I had stuff to do, and so that's what I'm saying. It's like I've been on assignment. You know, I got a notice, I got a clear communication that I was here for something. I didn't know what at the moment, but I felt special, and I've always felt that. So therefore, you know, when I teach, whatever it is I do, when I'm working, when I'm counseling people, when I'm mentoring people, it ain't me. It's not my ego. It's something is passing through me to that. I'm listening and just listening and relaying what it is that I got from, the source, from Mother, Father, God. And I say Mother, Father, God because I understand that there is a balance in that eternal spirit, that it's not like a paternal, fraternal thing, even though most of what we see will say that to us. You know what I mean? But I just say to them, take a look at the Bible, man. There ain't not one story written by a woman, not
Hmm.
one. It's
Yeah.
written by all men. And so it's a little skewed, but I respect the fact that that energy is a balanced energy. You can't have one without the other. And the rest of the universe speaks to that because there's balance. There's 24 hours in a day and 24 hours. I mean, it's 12 hours of light and 12 hours of dark. So there is balance and there's harmony.
Right. The last thing that
Amen
I
to that.
the last thing that I have, and I'll turn it over to Jay Walker. And after that, I'll let Mr. Richard Lawson close it out what he's doing now and different projects of that nature. When you receive your roles and receive the script, do you study line for line? Do you do any ad libbing, or are some actors better at ad libbing and you just fill in the gaps?
Well, I can't ad lib unless I know what I'm ad libbing from. You got to
Okay.
learn the
Mm,
song. You got to learn the song the way it was written. Marvin Gaye did one of the greatest renditions of the national anthem,
absolutely.
but he did it based
Absolutely.
upon the way it was originally written.
Right.
Then once you know the way what is originally intended, now you can improv off of that because improv comes off of the source. It doesn't come off of some random idea. You are improving based upon what is already in place. So if the script says go north, you can choose to go south, but it's based upon the direction of north. It
Right.
ain't
Right.
just based upon what you do. So I go back to, I'll read the script 250 times before any of those other ideas come to me. You know what I mean? I got to tell the story and I can shape it, once I understand what the story originally is, then we can do something different.
Amen. Go ahead, Jay.
Mr. Lawson, like I said, I appreciate your time. Um, I haven't spoken to a legend of your stature probably in my life, in terms of interaction. Um, I love what you've done. I love what you're doing, and I can't wait to see those things come to fruition for you. Um, Even like legends beget legends, your daughter, your son. I just can't say enough how much I appreciate how you represent us as a people. I know that's not your goal. You're doing what you're assigned to do, but thank you for being who you are and showing up the way that you do every time that you do.
Thank you, sir. And let me just say this, you know, in terms of why I do something, you know, my whole thing is trying to move the culture forward. And so therefore how it resonates with people is important to me. And it's particularly important to me when black men, it resonates strongly with black men because of the fact that as a man and as a human being and as a person who happens to be black and has great respect for where I came from, I'm 30% I'm 30% Nigerian and 20% Ghanaian. That that part of my responsibility is to reflect back something that's going to give people information, understanding, inspiration, knowledge, and some hopefully some entertainment along the way. So I really appreciate what you say, and I'm so happy to be able to resonate in your life and whoever else's life I can resonate in, and who happen to be black.
We really
Absolutely.
appreciate you and thank you for doing this interview.
Yes, sir.
Heartfelt, and we got to do it again down the road, and we're gonna be keeping in touch with that thing you're gonna have.
What's the tequila? Say the tequila one more time.
It's Cava Don Anastasio. It's not out there. It's coming back. It was 30 years ago. They sold it in Mexico. It didn't do well, so they shelved it. Now it's coming back out, and it won awards 30 years ago. It was like voted one of the best, and now it's coming back out. And so it's going. Everybody that has tasted it is like thinks it's the bomb, and so that's what it is. Let me just say that people who want to keep in touch with me on IG, I am at Mr. Richard Lawson, or Google Hyperlens, Hyperlens, Hyperlens Studio. Um, uh, um, just Google me and you'll find a plethora of ways to communicate with me. And so,
Yes,
I
and
look
you do
forward.
reply back. I got to give you that.
Yeah, I do reply. Tell them
Yes,
I
you
do
do.
reply.
One
I
more thing
spend
before go ahead. Go
no,
ahead.
I was just gonna say I spent a lot of times, a lot of time, put a lot of hours in replying back.
One more thing I forgot about your book. You wrote a book in around 2025. Your last book.
Yeah, my book is called The Artist Roadmap. I'm gonna pull it up here right quick and
Okay.
so you can see it. But you can get it in Amazon. It's also, again, Google that. It's also available on, I don't know if it looks
I can see.
backwards.
Oh yeah, I can see it.
Yeah. So it's this is the book. There's a lot of great knowledge in here. I'm in the process of doing my memoir, which you're gonna get that coming. And I'm just doing a lot of writing in general. If you go to my Substack, there's a lot of great writing on there, articles, essays, and other things. And so it's uh, go to Substack and you'll find me there. But you'll also, if you Google me, it'll be there too.
Good. I enjoyed myself, and I'm right on schedule. Actually, pretty good.
All right, bro. All
Right on.
right. God bless you, man.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate you coming on today and talking with us. And we wish you nothing but success. And you're one of the
Thank,
real ones that's left. I just want to let you know that.
thank you very
Yes.
much. I appreciate that.
You have a
God
good day.
bless you.
God
And
bless
tell
you.
your boy, I don't know what happened to him, but tell him I said hello. I mean,
I
goodbye.
sure will. Thank you very
All right.
much.
Okay. All right. Good talking to you guys.
All right.
Kingpin Music.